What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Josh and I'm here back with another tutorial. And in this video we have a major transformation. We had a guy who woofed the whole quarantine, so this is the first haircut that he had since quarantine first started. And if you guys don't mind, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell. Let's get it. Since he's been woofing, the first thing that you have to do is comb or pick out his hair. His hair is kind of longer than I thought. As you guys can see, it got stuck, but his hair is like a full fro. So we got a major transformation on our hands. So let's dive into this haircut. So I'm going to start by taking his hair down to a number 2 guard with the lever all the way closed, going with the grain. And as you guys can see, his waves are already popping. He's had a good woof, and we're just going to be bringing his haircut to life for him. But right after I go in with my number 2 guard, I'm actually going to take it down to a 1.5 because I want to take it lower. I started with the number 2 just to be safe, so I don't plug them or cut too much hair and not see his waves. So right here I go in with my number 1.5 guard. I'm glad I went with the number 1.5 because his waves popped even more. You'll just see his waves stand out thicker and deeper once I go around it with the 1.5 guard. But the reason why I went with the number 1.5 guard was because his hair texture, it depends on some people's hair texture, what you cut their waves down to. Some people can use a number 2. I got a guy that does a number 3. So it just depends on the hair texture. So right after I take his hair down to a number 1.5 guard, I just go over and do a quick brush session to get all his hair laying down and going in the right pattern that I want his hair to be while I'm cutting it. So right here I'm going to be setting in my first guideline, which is my bald line, using my Babyliss Gold effects trimmers. We're going to be giving him a low taper, so we're going to keep this guideline low and we're not going to take it up past the C cup. So right after going in and making my bald line, I'm going to come back with my Wahl Magic clips and I'm going to go up about 1/2 inch, setting in my next guideline, keeping the guideline area tight. We don't want to make it too wide because we're giving him a low taper, so we want this area to be as dark as possible. And right here I have my lever closed halfway, just taking out this guideline. And before I go in and create my next guideline, I'm going to take my 1.5 guard and just take down some more bulk to make sure I got all the hair. After that, I'm going to go in with my number 1 guard with the lever all the way open, going up about another 1/2 inch, still keeping it towards the bottom of his temple area. We don't want to make it too wide or too high. Right after setting in that guideline, I'm going to drop down and start my fading down process by closing the number 1 guard all the way and just softening that line up so I can come back with my 1/2 guard and fade it out all the way and go into my next step. So right here I'm just going to go in with my 1/2 guard and just take out this guideline all the way. So right here I'm just going to be doing some corner blending, just doing some detail work, better blending this area out. Going into my next step of this fade, I'm going to be starting with the biggest guard that I'm going to use in this fade and fade down from there. I started with the number 2 guard all the way open, then I closed it and I'm just hitting the area until I hear no more hair being cut or see no more hair being cut, and then I'm going to drop down to my number 1.5 guard with the lever all the way open and then gradually close it until it's all the way closed. Just soften that line up as I'm fading down, and then I'm going to come back with my number 1 guard all the way open and just do some more detail work. So right here I'm just going to start by going with and against the grain, just trying to blend this area out as best as I can, getting as much bulk out the way and going in every direction that the hair possibly could be growing to make sure that I have it all even. So right here, like I said, I'm going to be fading down from the number 1.5. I dropped down to my number 1 guard with the lever all the way open, and then I just closed it and then eventually started playing with the lever, doing some detail work, just getting this blend as best as I can. I want to make sure that I had this taper, it's cleared out and blended as I could. I don't want any dark spots. Starting on the neck taper, I'm going to take my Babyliss Gold effects trimmers and just set in my bald line, making sure that I got the left and the right side of this neck taper evenly balanced, starting with the first guideline. The neck taper is basically going to be the same process as the side taper. Right here I'm going in with my cordless magic clips and I'm going up about a ½ inch. This is with no guard on, with the lever all the way open, going against the grain, creating our guideline. And right after I set in my guideline, I'm going to go in with my Wahl magic clips again, but with the lever halfway closed, starting under the line and flicking up to the guideline, taking it out. Starting my next guideline, I'm going in with my number 1 guard with the lever all the way open, going up about another ½ inch, just setting in this guideline. To take out this guideline, we're going to start by closing the 1 guard all the way, softening this line up so we can come back with the ½ guard and finish blending it out. So right now I have my ½ guard on, and I'm just going to go in and take out this guideline all the way as much as I can with the ½ guard, and if I have to, I'll come back with no guard open and just do some detail work. So right here I'm just going to do some more with the grain with the 1½ guard, since this is the guard that I'm going to be fading into. Before starting with my number 2 guard, I want to make sure that I have the hair that I'm going against the grain with at the right height so it blends perfectly and leaves no patches. So my next guideline area is going to start with my number 2 guard, and this is going to be the biggest guard that I use on his neck taper, and I'm going to be fading down from here. But right here I'm just going against the grain, going up and just flicking out once I get to the dark area, and I'm just going to be softening this line out. So right after that I'm going in with my 1½ guard, and I'm going to be fading down. So right here I'm going to go in with my number 1½ guard open, and then I'm going to drop down to my number 1½ guard all the way closed, and then come back with some more guards and do more detail work. So right after I finish off the section that had the 1½ guard in it, as you guys know, I always come back with my 1 guard with the lever all the way open and just do some detail work going with and against the grain, hitting any dark areas. The reason why I always do that with the number 1 guard is because around the 1½ 1 guard open area is usually the area where I have to do a lot of detail work. Prepping the line up, I'm going to be putting some holding spray on, and I'm going to lock it down with the blow dryer and brush his hair down at the same time so I can get it to lay down. Time for one of my favorite parts of the video. We're starting the lineup process using my Babyliss Gold effect skeleton trimmers, and I'm just going to sit back and let you guys watch this haircut come to life. As you guys seen, he had an irregular lineup where his hair, grew to the all the way closer to his eyebrows. A lot of people have that problem. I've seen it before, but it's nothing I can fix. As you guys can see, we got a crispy line on my guy. So let's keep going with this haircut. Just to take this haircut to a whole nother level, and per client request, I'm going to apply some hair fibers to his hairline. Right after applying the hair fibers, you want to make sure that you go behind it and you just line it up with your natural hairline. If you don't apply it too dark, you can still see your natural hairline, so it shouldn't be hard to do. Right after getting the hair fiber situated, you want to go in with some holding spray and use your blow dryer on cold air and just lock it down so the hair fibers don't go anywhere. And one thing I do that always makes that hairline pop is after you apply that holding spray, that one last layer, make sure you go across your hairline just one more time and just bring that crispiness all the way out. Just to remind you guys with what we deal with, we just worked a miracle, man. Like, to be honest, like we brought this dude all the way back, and especially if you seen when his hair was picked out in the fro. If you didn't, you gotta go back and watch it. But YouTube, without further ado, this is the cut. Let me know what you guys think about this haircut in the comments. Make sure you guys leave a like, and if you're new, you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out some more of my dope tutorials. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Follow me on Instagram at Joshxbarber. It's your boy Josh, and I'm out.